Hey guys, it's Tristanator here, and welcome to I guess, kind of like a phone comparison video with my old phone, which is a Motorola G6 Plus. Funnily enough, I think both the front and the back have Gorilla Glass 3 protection on the phone. I've had it since 2018. It has a Snapdragon 630 chipset. Um, I think it has 4 gigabytes of RAM, uh, 64 gigabytes of internal storage, and a 3,200 milliamp hour battery. I decided to upgrade to the Motorola G100 phone, which came out in 2021, 3 years later compared to this phone, believe it or not. But I decided to upgrade because the old phone here, which honestly I love the design of, always loved it. I had a Moto G from I think 2013 or 2014, had that for the longest time until upgrading to a Motorola G6 Plus. It was effectively a upgrade in every sense of the word. Every spec was upgraded. I upgraded because this phone has become a little bit of a hindrance as far as the chipset, which can run effectively almost every single app on the Google Play Store, but rather slowly. The battery life isn't what it used to be. I can get maybe 4 hours of screen on time, provided that I'm not on YouTube or calls that run on for like an hour or so. I think with my current phone, not the Motorola G100, but the G6 Plus, I've had to learn to, I guess, compromise with what kind of apps that I can use on the phone. Like every productivity social media type app works fine, internet fine, 4G etc. fine. The only thing is that if I wanted to actually get any like the latest gaming titles, any gameplay or simply just playing them for fun, it's just not really possible on the phone. It lags a lot because of the chipset. It's time for something new. I needed something that would sustain me with security updates and as well as Android updates as well, because I haven't experienced Android 10. I probably will never be able to experience Android 10, but Android 11 and Android 12 I'm going to be able to experience, I guess, with the Motorola Moto G100. So, bit of a long intro, but I wanted to sort of get this out of the way before going into the unboxing experience. So, thank you for sticking with this, and let's do it. Right, so this is the Moto G100. It was actually on sale for £350, so it wasn't cheap. Far more than what I got the Moto G6 Plus for 3 years ago. But the really cool thing about this is that this has so much value for what it is. It's I'm not even kidding. This is quite possibly one of the most value phone bundles that you can get in 2021. You get a Qualcomm Snapdragon 870 processor, which is just shy of the performance that you can get with flagship Android smartphones with the Qualcomm Snapdragon 888 processor. This also comes with Ready 4, which is effectively a platform that allows to effectively turn your phone into a I guess like a mobile streaming hub in a sense. You can effectively connect it to a monitor, and you can play all of your smartphone games and apps and things to a monitor or television with the bundled ready for equipment. And it's something that I don't think I've ever really seen before. I think Samsung has like a similar platform in the form of the Samsung Dex platform. I think it is so. It has been done before, but it hasn't really been included with a phone at £350. So I'm just excited to see what can be accomplished with this. It comes with USB-C, of course, and there's also, I guess, an adjustable dock with integrated cooling fan included, which is good for gaming because effectively this phone is kind of designed to be, I guess like a blurred lines product between the budget-friendly Moto G series, which already went from far, surpassing that of the Moto G6 series to the G7, G8, G9 series, as well as I think there was a Moto G 5G Plus, which also had 5G like this phone, and then they went with the Moto G10, 30, 50, 100, and there's also a Moto G60S. So there are tons of Moto G phones at the moment. I'm going to explain why in just a moment. So yeah, I'm super excited for this. I'll have this unpacked after the explanation for why I got this phone. So on to that. So £350 is not a cheap price for a phone. The ready for equipment with it will have its uses, but ultimately, you're buying the phone, not necessarily the ready for bundled equipment. So why did I get a £350 phone when I could have got cheaper Motorola alternatives? Well, basically, one thing that I didn't include in the intro for this video is that I've only had two phones. I've had the Moto G original when that was rebooted back in 2013/14. And effectively it had I think it was a Snapdragon 400 series processor. It had a 720p resolution display. And the camera wasn't particularly great, but I think at the time it was a really good phone, and I believe it actually had a better display in terms of PPI, or pixels per inch, than the iPhones at the time, which I think was, if I remember correctly, the iPhone 5, possibly the iPhone 5C, like the 5C and the 5S came in 2013. I think that was the case. I remember when that was coming out, and I don't know if I picked up on it, but I did read recently that the Moto G was technically a better phone with the display, but not the cameras. The Moto G6 Plus has a 1080p display, and the reason why that is significant is because the 2021 phones that Motorola has been releasing within the Moto G brand was the Moto G10, which had a Snapdragon 460 processor, which is nowhere near as powerful as the processor I have in the Moto G6 Plus. So I thought, no, that is not worth the money, even if it was, I think, £130 on sale. The Moto G30, which would come with a Snapdragon 662 processor, was effectively as powerful as a Moto G9 Play, and technically, I guess the Moto G8 series as well, which all had a Snapdragon 665 processor, so slightly worse, but I think roughly equivalent to the 662 processor. But effectively, I thought, well, even if it has a 90 hertz display refresh rate, which the G100, funny enough, has, I figured that even though they were cheaper, it still had a 720p display, 720p display, which just wasn't ideal. Like the picture itself would be a downgrade, and it'd be acceptable, I guess, but it would be slightly blurrier, not as refined. And the same goes with the Moto G50 as well, which is a bit annoying because it was effectively marketed as an entry 5G model that was cheaper than the Moto G 5G Plus, which had a Snapdragon 765 or 765 processor, which that was going to be my go-to, but it came out of Android 10, and I wasn't really sure now whether that would actually get an Android 12 update. So, which brings on to, I guess, the recent comparison between the Moto G100 and the Moto Edge 20. I wanted to have a headphone jack, which the Edge 20 didn't have. The Edge 20 came with a Snapdragon 778 G processor, which funnily enough, the Samsung A52s 5G phone has as well. I basically figured that at the end of the day, headphone jack, the G100 also has a micro SD slot expansion for extra storage if you need it. The Edge 20 didn't have that. The G100 is faster, and it also comes with a Ready For bundle, which may or may not be useful. And it was also £20 less than the Edge 20, which I found a bit crazy. But I guess the only thing I'm missing out on is the guaranteed 2 years of Android software updates. So the Edge 20 would go on to have an Android 13 update when that comes around. Not really sure about the Moto G100, but I'm not really opposed to the idea of not upgrading if my new phone has an Android 12 update but doesn't have Android 13 or 14. I was able to keep my Moto G6 Plus fully functional for 3 years. I definitely see myself using the G100 for 3 or 4 years at least. So this little explanation kind of ran on quite a bit, but I just wanted to, I guess, explain my reasoning for why I got a £350 phone. Other people have paid more for like iPhones and things, but considering that I've only really had Moto G phones that are typically for sort of a budget audience, I wanted to, I guess, explain why the Moto G100 is such a good deal for £350. And that's £100 off. Normally it would be £450, so I figured this was the time to get this new phone that would most likely keep going for the next 3-4 years, maybe even more. It can effectively run anything with barely any stutters. So yeah, onto the unboxing experience.
Okay, we'll see how this goes. But this is effectively what you will receive in an official Moto G box, and this is all £350. This isn't like you know, something that you just get alongside the phone itself. This is you know, for extra additional cost. This is everything. You get the phone, in all its glory. I'm going to open that later. You get a ready for cable, which is USB-C to HDMI cable. So effectively you can plug it into any monitor or television that supports HDMI. Effectively every modern television and monitor has an HDMI port to plug HDMI cables into. So it's great for gaming, video calls, and more. This is, I guess, trying to be a phone that is marketed for people that do a lot of video conferencing, I suppose. I don't do that, but I guess technically this could be like a pretty good business phone for anyone who's you know, into trying to maximize their productivity. But you get that, and also you get the Ready for adjustable dock, part of the Ready for dock series. I think you can get this separately. So I think the Edge 20 series of phones also support Ready for, but I believe this is the only phone besides maybe the Moto Edge 20 Pro, which is £200 more than this, which also gives you the Ready for adjustable dock and the cable and stuff. So I guess like the really cool thing about this is that you get this for £200 less than the Moto Edge 20 Pro, which has the same processor as the Moto G100, but it has better cameras and I guess 2 years of guaranteed Android OS updates as well as security updates. So yeah, I guess that's a cool thing. Maybe I'm not necessarily going to unbox the Ready for stuff in this video. I figured I'd probably do it once I actually understand the you know, the software itself. But here we go, the Moto G100. I'm trying to film this on an iPad Pro, so I'm not entirely sure how to get all of it in one frame, but I do happen to have stickers, which is a bit of a pain. One sec. Okay, so after like probably like a minute or two of trying to get one sticker off, they are the bane of my existence. Here we go. So you get the phone, which is marketed as the most powerful Moto G ever, which I say is pretty accurate. This is a lot cooler in person. Look at that. It's a mix of blues, greens, purples, and pinks, like magenta. It's I gotta say, it looks a lot cooler than my Moto G6 Plus. I'll get it. Oh, I get my old phone out of the case. That's what it looks like. That is really, really interesting. It's the case itself is going to be a finger magnet as usual, but yeah, that is that is quite something. I guess other stuff that you get in the box. I'm gonna have a look at the phone later. Yeah, that's that's out. You get a 20-watt USB-C charger. I think the actual term is like USB-A to Type-C charger. But yeah, this is, I guess, better than my 15-watt charging experience. It's going to be slightly, well, actually, like it may be slightly faster. I'm not entirely sure, but I think because the Moto G100 has a 5,000 milliamp hour battery, I'm not entirely sure that it's actually going to be faster than the 15 watts on a 3,200 milliamp hour battery. It's going to be a little bit slower to charge, but that's because of the bigger battery capacity. But you get a bunch of things included in this little sleeve right here. You get, I believe this is a SIM ejector tool, which I think that's the only thing that could really be used for. You get an instruction manual, and on top of that you get, I guess, like a ready for instruction leaflet thing here, and this, which kind of tells you how to set up the phone, which I'm probably going to consult. But yeah, this is the first time with the Moto G100. And I guess like a cool thing about this is that you can see right here in the bottom left, not bottom left, top left of the phone itself, you have the front camera as normal, which is what I had on the Moto G6 Plus and I guess the Moto G when I had that, but also an ultra wide camera, which is not really seen too often, I guess. And then this is a 64 megapixel main camera, rear camera, alongside, I believe it's an 8 megapixel ultra wide camera, alongside, I think, a time of flight sensor and a 2 megapixel depth sensor. I believe from memory that's what it is. But I'm going to set up the phone, and thank you for staying with me. If you have, this is honestly a really exciting experience for me. It's on. So I guess like the cool thing that you have on here, you've got at the top a volume rocker.
Hello, Moto.
Volume rocker. I guess like a volume button, I should say, to increase the volume or decrease the volume. You've got a fingerprint sensor there instead of at the bottom of the phone, and I believe one of these is a dedicated Google Assistant button, which is just another way to call up the Google Assistant. I'm going to set up the phone and should be back afterwards. All right, so just to, I guess, finish things off, because like I could talk about this phone all day. I am really liking the phone. I've got to fully set it up to to match what I can do with the Moto G6 Plus, but it's an upgrade in every sense of the word. It still has the same 1080p resolution display, but I guess a far better pixels per inch number. So it does look a lot better than the screen I had. Not to say that it was bad on the Moto G6 Plus, far from it. It's just a brighter display. And would I say I'm happy with my purchase? Yes, I'm a bit apprehensive about the fact that I spent £350 on a phone in one go, but I think it's worth it with what you get with the Ready 4 bundle. But I guess, excluding that, £350 for a phone is a lot. I don't expect to spend another £350 or so on another phone for a long time. But yeah, I think this is great. I think it's currently on 60 hertz at the moment, but you can bump that up to 90 hertz, which actually, if I go into the settings, I might be able to show you. Where is it? Display. Peak display, colors. Display refresh rate. Yeah, so you can have it where it's auto 60 hertz, which is less smooth, but effectively what everyone is used to at this point, or 90 hertz, which, trying to balance it with one hand, is an option. It's I think it's definitely smoother, I guess. Would I probably have to experiment it with a little bit more to fully appreciate it? Definitely. But yeah, it's cool. Like there are a lot of features on this phone that I'm definitely going to be able to experience now that I would never in a million years be able to experience on my old phone. But that's kind of the weird thing. I'll go back to front camera to exchange my final thoughts.
So, the Moto G100, an 870 Snapdragon chipset, 5G connectivity, Wi-Fi 6, cool stuff, 128 gigabytes of UFS 3.1 fast storage. It's insane. That's double the storage I had, and it's even faster. It's a lot of money to purchase a phone for, and I guess I've kind of got to justify it by basically just using it more and just fully appreciating the fact that this is a fast phone that can get a lot of things done, like the Ready 4 stuff. If that can actually be incredible for productivity, I'm definitely going to be using that. There's just so much that you can do with this phone, and it's half the price of an iPhone 13, which I guess, you know, is more powerful, has better cameras, same amount of storage, not necessarily the fastest storage though, but you've kind of got to put it into perspective. This phone definitely has more battery life. It has a headphone jack. You have the options of using Bluetooth or a wired connection. And actually, funny enough, wired earphones and headphones offer better audio quality normally compared to even some of the best Bluetooth devices. It's a fact. You can look it up, and it's just great to have options. It's a device that basically has all bases covered. My photos for Instagram are going to be a lot better. Video is going to be a lot better. You can actually record in 6K resolution. That's nuts, because the Moto G6 Plus could only record at 4K 30, and still, like, you can do that on the Moto G100. You can also up that to 4K 60 FPS, which is better. And I guess like it's I'm excited because it's an upgrade across the board for me. I wanted to get a phone that would be an iterative upgrade across the board, and I don't. And I couldn't see that with the Moto Edge 20 or any other Motorola device. Like I even compared it to the Moto Edge 20 Pro. I didn't want to spend £600 on a phone. That's nuts. Unless it's actually justified in the future. I don't intend to spend anything above £350 on a phone, which in itself is crazy already. So, I now have the Moto G100 alongside a PS5, which in itself is also a very expensive device. I'm incredibly fortunate to have this tech, and I intend to use it to its fullest potential. But anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time in another video. But until then, Tristanator out.